Okay, welcome back. Now we are going to our third video of the SpiralFlow method of joint mobility. Today we're going to be dealing with the shoulders. The shoulder perhaps has the greatest range of motion of all the joints in the body, mostly because of the structure that the shoulder is configured. You have kind of a ball and socket type of a joint where the humerus connects to an area of the scapula, the shoulder blade, and is a ball and socket, but the socket is not like the hip joint, which is a much more deeper and stable socket, which is rather shallow. And it's because of that configuration that allows the shoulder to move in all kinds of different directions. But also the same configuration is what makes the shoulder very susceptible to injury. It behooves us then to really make sure that we continuously keep our shoulders well lubricated, that we have full range of motion of the shoulders. We use our arms for everything, and the usability of the hand and the arm is dependent on the mobility of the shoulder. If the shoulder doesn't move well, can brush your hair, can scratch your back, can brush your teeth, can do a lot of other things. So we want to make sure that we have good shoulder mobility. The first one that we're going to do is going to involve rotation of the shoulder in the sagittal plane. In other words, it will look something like this here. And this is the normal way that most people will do it. Actually, most people, when they do this shoulder rotation, end up taking the arm and putting it out like this, and we're going to avoid that. Okay, and I'm going to show you exactly how to avoid having your arm adduct or separate from your center line by doing this. Okay, the arm needs to just hang in there. The rotation is just the shoulder itself, and we don't need to bring the arm out by tightening the muscles. Only use the muscles that are necessary to get the job done. Now, because in the SpiralFlow method of joint mobility, we utilize the entire body whenever we are doing joint mobility drills, we make all our movements coming from the waist. And the waist in turn uses its power by the connection that we have on the feet to the ground. So the same alignments that we talked about in the previous videos of the knees slightly bent, the pelvis tilt, the chin tucked in, all that still applies to all of the drills. So doing the first shoulder rotation, we're rotating the torso as well, just a little bit, and bringing the shoulder forward. And as I do so, I will then rotate my arm medially or inward, inside here, and then bring the shoulder up as if I was trying to touch my ear, and then back as if my shoulder blade was trying to reach for my spine, and then the arm down as if I had a weight on my hand. This way, we give the joint complete range of motion in this plane, sagittal plane. But I'm also turning my body, rotating the body, which then gives me rotation, articulation in all the joints, like on the hip and the lumbar. Notice that as I rotate the shoulder, doing a shoulder roll, that I'm also turning the hand or the arm. This way, I am doing multiple joint mobility. If I did not turn my arm, I would only be articulating where the clavicle and the shoulder and the sternum meet. But by rotating my arm, I am also articulating on that socket that we spoke about earlier, that ball and socket where the humerus connects to the scapula. So this you would do 9 times in the beginning, and then reverse it. Up as if I were touching my ear, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, forward, down, back, up, and then change size. Going back, down, forward, up, back, down, forward, up. Don't let the movement of the torso confuse you as to what we're doing here. Basically, if I were not moving my torso, I would just be doing this. But it's so much more dynamic when the torso, the body gets involved behind the joint mobility, because we want to think of the body as a series of gears, with the waist being the main gear, and then the spine like an axle that in turn transfers the rotation towards the shoulder, and then the shoulder to the arm. And then reverse, back, up, down, Now we do both shoulders, same time, going up as if I was trying to touch my ears with both of my shoulders. Open the chest and down. Close, up, back, down. Notice the rotation of my arms inward and outward, and notice how my arms don't flare out to the sides. They stay down here. I don't need to bring my arms out. They just hanging in there. So down, and you can keep yourself from having your arms go out by imagining that you are drawing circles around your thigh with your hand, like so. See how close my hands stay to my leg here, and that keeps me from flaring out. Just keep them here. Also, the hand is a hollow fist. In other words, I'm not going to have a tight grip, nor will my hands be open. They'll be hollow, as if I were holding a broomstick. And down. Now, this motion that you see of my shoulders rotating backwards or upward, forwards, comes as a result of the interplay from my waist towards my shoulder girdle. Notice how my waist undulates, and that's what's causing this to happen. From the side, if I were not doing the shoulders and I were just doing the waist by itself, I'd be doing this motion, but that is causing this to happen. So you synchronize the movement of the waist with the rotation of the shoulders, following the idea of the gears that we spoke about a minute ago. If you keep your weight towards the heels, say between the middle of the foot and the heel itself, that prevents your knees from going forward. We don't want to do this. And that's a common mistake. People do this and the arms way out here. That's not what we're doing. But if you think about pressing into the ground around the heel area, between the middle of the foot and the heel, that will prevent the knees from coming forward. And that's basically, it's one of my favorite exercises for the shoulder joint. And that's it. The second exercise involves moving the arm on the frontal plane, full range of motion across the front of my body. Notice how my hands keep rotating, my arms keep rotating as I do this. This way I am rotating here as well as the whole arm rotating on the axis of the joint. Also notice how my torso is rotating. So in other words, I'm not staying here in one place just doing this. I'm incorporating my entire body in the motion. And then rotate the other way. There is no need to raise the head and look at the hands. You can keep your head in a neutral position. That's number 2.